in our country?
Well, I will describe the state of policing as, quite challenging, taking into account various factors that the country is facing since COVID-19. The country has never been the same. There is a lot of unemployment, and that also brings the element of crime and new crime. And of course, most of the countries, they are looking for where they can look for gold or something to eat. And that South Africa, unfortunately, becomes a destination of choice. You'd recall a few years ago that South Africa as a country signed quite a number of treaties. We have a free protocol on movement, freedom of movement in Africa, AU. We have got also the protocol on freedom of movement in SADC, but that does not in practice mean people will move from here to north. It means they all move south, which makes the resources of the country to be under pressure, and as a result, crime becomes a problem, new forms of crime that is imported in the country. Policing is quite under pressure, and unfortunately, the society look for everything from police. They expect if a child don't go to school, it's a problem of police. If the spouses have confrontation, where were the police? And so it's quite challenging. The policing of today can never be associated or described as the policing of 30 years ago. It's quite challenging and requires, of course, new ideas. And currently, South African Police Service, we are trying our best to cope with what we have, but we do have, of course, limitation of resources. Resources are not in abundance, and population and challenges are growing far more faster than what we have. Thank you very much.
So, General, just in summary, firstly, the one thing I didn't notice is that you don't have expertise in social work or social development, because it seems to me that's a necessary qualification now for a police officer too. Just from what you describe, you now expected when children are not going to school and there's issues with them. Of course, domestic violence, especially gender-based violence, is a huge problem in our country. So a lot of social problems too that you have to deal with.
That is true, Honorable Chair. I normally say that you do not go into a McDonald's and order a beer. You don't do that. But with regard to South African Police Service, that is the case. We expect police to work and deal with criminals and show a certain posture. But at the same time, when they get to the victim, be it of gender-based violence or any other victim, then we expect the same person to have a different face. Whereas in reality, we should be saying police deal with criminals and let those that are trained to deal with social issues, deal with those issues on a 24-hour basis, and not expect one person to have double face. Thank you very much.
So you mentioned, however, a number of challenges, and we describe them as challenges: migration, unemployment, poverty, those kinds of challenges which tend to give rise to crime and puts the police service under tremendous strain.
That is correct, Honorable Chair.
Now, However, would you describe the police service as being in a state of crisis? Or are you managing the crisis?
I will not describe it as a state that the police service is in a state of crisis. Well, the police that are working in South Africa are from the society and community of South Africa. And what you find in the police is what you find in the society. So you cannot see them in isolation from what is happening in the society. Currently, one cannot describe it as a state of disaster because all of you that are here, you woke up, you left home. You either left a domestic worker alone, and or you left a gardener, or you left somebody, and you will go back home and still find everything intact, find your vehicle. And banks are out there. We know that there is money in the bank. It was there last night, it is still there now. Well, there will be now and then crimes that happens. So that tells you that there is police in the country that are doing their work. Not that we don't have challenges. We do have challenges, both internal and external. But however, also, internally we are doing our best to correct the wrongs that are there and root out and address those that off-ramp from the principles. But of course, also, there is external challenges from the society that also is getting into the organization and infiltrating the organization. So I will not say there is problems in the country, but I will not say we reach a stage of crisis. No, thank you very much.
Now, thank you, General. Now, some of the wrongs that you refer or allude to, some of it were manifested in a media briefing on the 6th of July by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. And you're familiar with that, and we're going to spend a bit of time also just looking at what he said at that media briefing. But he raised a number of issues there that has and has caused a lot of consternation amongst the public, people of our country, and they are concerned that if that is the state of the police, then they are worried. Your comment?
Yeah, thanks. I'm aware, yes, of that press briefing, and yes, I'm also do acknowledge that, yes, those matters are worrying, definitely where there is some disruption or infiltration from criminality into the police. It is indeed matters that are worrying that needs to be rectified.
I speak subject to correction, but I do recall one of the honourable members asking General Mkhwanazi yesterday, last night, could have been around 11 o'clock or past 11, so I may, my recollection may let me down, but someone asked him about the state of the police, and he's since this media briefing on the 6th, and I think his answer was that it's better than it was on the 6th of July, and there's been some improvements. I'm not sure whether you're able to comment on that, and whether some of these issues raised by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi at the media briefing on the 6th, whether some of these issues have been addressed or even remedied or corrected.
I would say, Honorable Chair, yes, some of the matters there has been improvement. For example, with regard to enrollment of cases, I would say it improved quite drastically. In the past, I know that it would take various members and/or even the PKTT tremendous effort to get cases enrolled, and they will be shown from one pillar to post, and nobody being prepared to make a decision, because it's either you make a decision whether there is a case or there is no case to answer, simple as that. But they will be shown from pillar to post, but I'm sure the relevant team members, if any of them comes here, will be able to be specific on those, which required number of meetings. But yes, there's been a difference since then to today.
And I think, to be fair, I didn't hear Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi say that that the police is in a state of crisis, certainly not in a crisis of a nature that we can't fix. He said very clearly that by and large things still work. Police still do their work. There's a lot of, I think, as he described them, good men and women in the force doing an honest day's work, and that seems to accord with what you said earlier, is that things are working.
Yeah, no, it's true, Honorable Chair. As I said, yes, there are problems. We agree in the police, and we are trying our best to fix them. But we need support of everyone. We need support of the executive. We need support of parliamentarians. We need support of society. But of course, the practice is when you try to fix problems in the police, and people will run all over and involve yourself as members of parliament, involve other people, the executive, twisting facts and making facts to sound as if they are being victimized. And as a result, that disrupts the whole process of fixing or overhauling certain areas. So that, unfortunately, is what continues to repeat itself. Not that we are not doing anything as management of SAPS. We do attend to the problems. If I may be specific, let's say problems of crime intelligence. We were trying to fix them. With the former minister, Kele, I must say, we had a plan on how to fix it. We started halfway, it was new administration, he left, and then the new minister came, and unfortunately I never had opportunity to brief him, but we had plans to agree that let's make time brief and talk about the problems that are there in order to fix. So yes, they come a long way. And it's not that people are being targeted. It's about just correcting the wrongs and getting the organization to work more better. That's what we actually were looking for, or we were doing.
Now, apart from the social and other ills that we have in our country, which impact on the police service, we also worryingly hear and read about and hear from Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi that there are problems in in the upper echelons, higher echelons of the service, which we will discuss.
Yes, there are problems, but it's not problems that are beyond to be resolved. They can be resolved.
Yeah, no, I think we're all happy to hear that they're not unsolvable or irresolvable, and that we can fix them. Because you would agree it's important that they must be fixed.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yes, it's problems that have to be or need to be fixed.